Slow cookers are a great way to prepare a meal and can be used to make meals that are just as healthy as preparing food other ways. I love using my slow cooker because it has so many benefits. The recipes are pretty easy. Add ingredients, set the temperature, and leave it to cook. They are great for days when I don't have a lot of time to cook, whether I'm busy doing other work around the house or away from home for a bit. Our meal is ready and waiting for us later. Slow cookers do not warm the house like an oven does, so they are good for the summer. Slow cookers don't use a lot of electricity, and of course, as the food cooks, your house smells great. Before we get started with the slow cooker, remember that using a slow cooker is just like using other cooking methods. We have to be careful to handle the food safely so that our families do not get sick. Follow the same food safety procedures that you would typically follow, such as washing hands and vegetables. Cook foods on low or high to reach the appropriate internal temperature. Then you can use the warm setting to hold the food at 140 degrees or above. Do not put frozen ingredients directly into the slow cooker. Completely thaw the ingredients first. Ensure thorough cooking of meat by cutting it into chunks or small pieces. Fill the slow cooker at least half full and no more than 2/3 full to ensure proper cooking. Avoid opening the lid during cooking, and reheat leftovers in the microwave or on the stove top, not in the crock pot. Now we can get started cooking with our slow cooker. Today I picked a recipe from our website, garbanzo bean soup. Almost any recipe can be modified to become a slow cooker recipe, especially if it calls for simmering on the stovetop. Simply reduce the liquid by about 1/3 to 1/2 because the slow cooker will create its own liquid. Then, adjust the cooking time. This recipe takes about 20 minutes on the stove, so it will take about 4 to 6 hours in the slow cooker on low or 1.5 to 2.5 hours on high. To avoid sticking, I spray the slow cooker with nonstick spray prior to putting the ingredients in. My favorite thing about using the slow cooker is that I can prepare ingredients ahead of time, such as cutting up vegetables and meat. I like to do this the night before when I have more time. Just be sure to store the ingredients in airtight containers and not the slow cooker in the fridge. Since I had all of my ingredients pre-prepared, I just put them all in the slow cooker and stir it together. Diced tomatoes, a can of chicken broth, some Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and salt. Vegetables in the slow cooker can be tricky. Hard vegetables, like carrots, will take longer to cook, and then soft vegetables, like zucchini, will cook faster. Today, I'm adding the hard vegetables first. We've got carrots and some onion. Whew, that's a strong onion. And I'll add my soft vegetables, my zucchini, during the last hour of cooking. If you don't have time to do this, you can cut the hard vegetables into smaller pieces and the soft vegetables into larger pieces. This soup also includes pasta. I'm going to put the pasta in during the last hour of cooking. If the recipe calls for small pasta, it does not need to be cooked in advance, but if it calls for larger pasta, it should be cooked in advance. This recipe uses beans instead of meat, but if you do have meat that needs to be browned for a recipe, like ground beef or chili, do that right before you add it to the slow cooker. I'm just going to stir all this together, plug it in, and set it on low to cook. There are a lot of great slow cooker ideas out there that you can try out, so get it out and enjoy your meals in your slow cooker. But you want to make sure to remove as much air as possible for the best quality. Be sure you use bags labeled for freezing. These are heavier than food storage bags. If you have something like a soup or casserole you would like to save, then some plastic or glass containers or freezer bags work well. No matter which method you use, make sure you label and date all your leftovers and use them within 3 or 4 months.